Argonauts claw back to hand Stampeders a loss in return to McMahon Stadium. The Calgary Stampeders had opportunities to finish the Toronto Argonauts off. 4 times, the Stamps, 0-1, found themselves deep in Argos, 1-0, territory. All 4 times, they had to settle for field goals. That left the door open for an Argos team that struggled to move the ball for much of the game. That little opening, in the end, was enough. A couple of key fourth-quarter mistakes by the Stamps allowed the Argos to claw their way back into the game and then steal a 23-20 victory at McMahon Stadium. It's a loss that will sting for the Stamps. For 3 quarters, they were largely able to contain the Argos offense. The Stamps moved the ball pretty well themselves. With less than 9 minutes on the clock, they were up 8 points and had kept the Argos well away from their end zone for most of the second half. They likely should have been up by more. Camar Jordan had his second touchdown of the game called back because of an offensive pass interference call, and on the Stamps' next shot at the end zone, it appeared that there was pass interference as Colton Hunchak tried to catch the ball. Neither call went the Stamps' way. They had other chances, too, but had to settle for field goals instead of touchdowns. The defense was doing a good enough job, though, that the Stamps still felt like they had the game under control. Not in the bag, by any means, but they seemed like they were cruising. A fumble by running back Kadeem Carey changed the complexion of the game. It gave the Argos the ball on the Stamps' 27-yard line, and 2 plays later McLeod Bethel Thompson, who completed 26 of 37 passes for 354 yards and 2 TDs, found Curly Gittens Jr. in the end zone. After the Argos got the 2-point conversion, the game was suddenly tied. On the Stamps' next drive, Carey took an objectionable conduct penalty that cost the Stamps 10 yards and halted their momentum. An Argos field goal and an interception by Bo Levi Mitchell, who completed 23 of 35 passes for 251 yards and also threw a touchdown in the final minute, and that was that. Argos win. It's only week 1 and the Stampeders will feel good about the way they established the run early and how their offensive line managed to keep Mitchell standing in the face of relentless pressure by the Stars on the Argos D-line. Given that there were no preseason games, nobody should have been expecting the Stamps to be perfect. They weren't, but whatever disappointment there is should come from the fact that they lost a game they could and probably should have won.